Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. Hello, I'm Boom Gonzalez, and you can watch the game live and our past episodes, of course, on demand on the Pilipinas Live app.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Welcome to the game. The UAAP Final Four picture is gradually coming into focus with players delivering in the clutch time and time again. Now here to break down some of the big-time moments of the men's elimination round is basketball analyst Jarrell Lim. Welcome to the studio.
Thank
How are
you.
you doing?
Thank you, Paulo. Thank you, Boom.
Yeah, I got into a street fight.
I mean,
With all the intensity in the
what
UAAP.
a weekend, huh?
he got that watching the UAAP.
And then he got into a debate daw eh. Kaya-
Ganon. So, no punches will be thrown here today, at least during the show. Let's take a look at some of the big shot makers here. We have a couple of clips that we want to roll here, and we're going to ask you to break it down. We're going to start off first with one of the big shots from that Ateneo Lasal game. Evan Nelly, in particular, a big shot, a three-pointer with 5:04 left in the game, with and the score tied at at 61-56 in favor of Lasal. You take a look at Evan Nelly. Just what is it in his DNA that makes him a big shot taker?
One word, confidence. With Evan Nelly, he's been confident ever since his high school days. He brought it to the Sunbeda Red Lions and all the way to TAF with the Green Archers. So he's just so confident with it. He knows that he's been working on his three-point shot. So whenever he takes it, he just knows it's coming in. And in fact, that fast break play, there could be other aspects to it. He could have, set up a play, pass it on to a better shot. But he knew himself that he could make it. He practices it. So there you go. He made it.
Yeah, but it's a transition three.
Yeah, it's a
Right?
transition
And-
three.
Years ago, that is automatically a bad shot,
yeah,
Jarrell.
exactly, yeah.
What makes it now a good shot in this modern era of basketball?
Aside from, pumasok actually. You know what, that's what coaches always say. Basta pumasok, okay lang.
Okay.
But truth is, with the game evolving, so especially with the rise of the Golden State Warriors, you know, they hit their threes, they look for their threes, in fact, as their first option. That in itself transitioned already to Philippine basketball. And so Coach Topex himself, within his system, encourages the likes of Evan Nelly, Mark Nonoy to pull up and hit those transition threes.
By the way, that was a 6-0 run, I remember, because those were two triples.
Right.
One from Joshua David at the corner, and then that was the second of the two triples that forced the hand of Coach Tab to call that timeout, because they were also in this game before that happened, even with 5:04 remaining on bigat. They got the crowd into it, and as you know very well, Jarrell, that sometimes plays a
big
part.
factor.
Another shot that he made was actually towards the end of the game with 1:05 left here. This one was arguably bigger considering the circumstance, and of course the score here ended up...
And the defender.
And the defender. And not only that, the situation rin broken play.
Yeah.
At what point do you see a guy take over after broken plays and say that, okay, he's the guy who should have the ball in this type of situation with that short clock and with the best defender, one of the best defenders on against him?
Honestly, that shot or the ball could have gone to any other player. And then with the shot clock winding down, anyone can take it basically. But we have to go back. The play was drawn up for the MVP, Kevin Kembao, to take that, that go-ahead basket. But it all fumbled. But I guess the Green Archers are so thankful it landed to Evan Nelly. And he hit that tough one-legged fade runner type of shot. And it's definitely like a really, really difficult shot, as we see here. Over Obasa too.
Over Obasa.
That's what I mean.
Over Obasa.
Obasa is averaging almost 3 blocks a game.
Yeah.
And the instinct of, was that Mike Phillips, right? The instinct of Mike Phillips to give it back to him. Right? Because there's some players who will either dribble that out, maybe make a play for themselves. And yes, maybe that's not Mike's thing, but it was him that they looked. You went to the point guard, the veteran, and Evan Nelly obviously was in the right spot, but how tough is that? Look at that. This is the angle to look at.
Oh my goodness. Again, expiring clock, by the way, and he still had the time and the presence of mind to have that little jab step to get free and penetrate as well. Oh, my goodness. Okay, wait. I can talk about this all day, Boom. You have to move us on from this.
wala pa yan. I forgot. I forgot.
Here.
Okay, let's move on to another one that happened over the weekend. There were many things happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
Crazy. Insane games.
So many games.
Between
So many good
Adamson
games.
University and the UE Red Warriors. You know, got to give credit to UE. They were already out of it, but they fought till the end, and they almost had it. And we're talking about that Jack Cruz Demont 3. Tell us about that one, Jarrell.
Big credit to the Red Warriors. They really fought to win. I mean, they didn't. They were out basically, but they still played hard. But that 3 by Cruz Demont, that was tough. It's a one dribble to the left, pull-up jumper in the 3-point line, which is really rare. The last player that I know who mastered that type of move was Aljun Melesio. And now it's Jack Cruz Dumont who did it, and it hurt the Falcons at first, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, there was an article that recently came up in the post-game that there was a banter between Cruz Dumont and Montebon, wherein Cruz Dumont told Montebon that I'm ending your season. And then
He almost did.
Almost did,
And
yeah.
right after the shot, he said, "I told you so."
Right.
Well, no, now since you mentioned Montebon, I think we can go talk about him as well. But again, these guys are actually rookies, right? And being given the license, the confidence to take those shots, how big is that a factor in what we saw in that game between UE and Adamson?
The fact that as a player, you know your coach has the confidence to you, it boosts everything. Like, you know you've been practicing it, you know you've been really working your reps in, so all you need is that confidence, that mental aspect of it.
Let's contextualize, just paint a picture for the audience who may not have known that. So Cruz Dumont makes the 3. Magbuhos, right, also missed a free throw at the end of the second free throw, which set up this whole thing with Montebon. They did not need a 3 here, and it was also, there were a lot of misdirections, diba, in the play, a lot of screens. He gets, and then steps back to the corner. How tough is that? Mahirap yung kay Cruz Dumont, but this one's also tougher going to the corner.
Boom, it's ridiculous. That shot was ridiculous. I mean, and it's not even like the corner. It was like dead corner. Like he was,
great
he was
point.
close to the out of bounds and fading away.
Coffin corner.
Coffin corner, to say the least. And he still made it. And it was over a contested. It was contested.
Yeah, it was
by,
contested.
I believe it was Sawat, who was
Sawat,
much
that's
bigger
right,
than him. So.
Who could not have done a better job, honestly.
Yeah,
defensively.
exactly.
Yeah,
So,
what a shot.
It feels like Adamson really like their buzzer beaters, no?
Yeah.
In general.
They love close games.
They love close
They have
games.
another one.
Yeah, I was gonna knockout. I was gonna say that I used to know that corner for UP, hitting tough threes from then.
and that was on me.
And
Lastimosa on me.
so
Unforgettable. Unforgettable.
Nightmares,
Nightmares.
all right. So when you take a look at the big shots made for all of this, honestly, if you had to pick any of these guys to make a shot for you in particular towards the end, who are you turning to?
Or the ones who are in the Final Four. That's what
Yeah,
we're
for the ones in the
asking.
Final Four. Yeah.
Well, we can start off first with LaSalle.
Okay.
Right? I would honestly still go for Evan Nelly.
Okay.
Over KQ.
Over KQ.
The reason being?
The reason being is because, in my perspective, all the teams know that KQ's the #1 player right now in the league.
Yeah.
So everyone, I mean,
All
it's
attention's there.
All attention's there, so it's easy to adjust against KQ. But for Evan Nelly, everyone knows him as a playmaker, and he's done it time and time again. Even in his Red Lions day, he hit a big shot against Letran there.
All right. No explanation needed from a former UP guy. If UP, big shot, who's taking it?
Atin to. Atin to.
Which one?
Paul Desiderio.
Oh, but now.
No,
I mean,
now,
the-
now.
Yeah.
Sorry, JD Kago.
JD. My.
All right. Okay. That makes
That's have
sense.
experience.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome stuff, Jarrell.
Jarrell, thank you again for coming on the show. We
Thank
can't
you,
wait
thank
to have
you.
you again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Mahirap kalimutan kasi si
Oh,
Paul.
yeah, he brought him straight up. I get
back
you.
eh.
Oh.
Yup, he's done so much. back in
Maraming
the day.
salamat, Jarrell. We'll see you soon. All right, in the
Thank you,
meantime, after the break, we'll list down the top guards to watch in the ongoing PBA Commissioner's Cup naman. So stay tuned. You're watching The Game. welcome back to the game. We're a couple of games into the PBA Commissioner's Cup, and what better time to list down the top players to watch out for the rest of the conference. Now, joining us is someone who knows all about playing against the league's top guards. Former PBA All-Rookie Team member and basketball analyst, Renzo Subido is in the house. Good to see you again, buddy.
Hey, Boom and Paolo, thank you for having me.
Always great having you here. So we're going to talk about the guards here that made your life terrible in the PBA. And I want to start off with a guy who consistently does that. Itong si Gio Halalon, who we all know as a Spitfire guard on the defensive end. It feels like right now he takes defense even more personally, coming out defending and coming out trying to hunt for steals. Just what about him makes him one of the must-watch guys here in the PBA now?
Gio, it's always tough to match up against Gio. He always provides us spark off the bench, and actually recently in their game, in the recent Clasico game against Ginebra,
over the weekend,
they were down as much as 26 points. And when Coach Chito put Gio inside to play, they even won the game by 2 points.
Gio was a monster in that third quarter. Again, they were down 60-35.
Biggest comeback in what? Was it 17 years?
17 years? Biggest in 17 years, and Gio Halalon was a big part of that for sure. But it was a good matchup with si Scotty.
Yeah, right. And we'll talk about Scotty in a bit. But personally, what makes Gio tough for you when you are face to face with him?
It's his defense.
What about it, Renzo?
His grit to stop the player, the best player on the court.
Determinado talaga.
Determinado. He's gonna make things hard for you inside. He's not gonna make things life easier for you.
May pride siya in terms of defense, no? You take a look at that. And of course, I mentioned si Scotty kanina because obviously Scotty, former league MVP, doing everything. Not a lot of people thought that he could translate what he did for Perpetual into the PBA, but he's doing just that here. Just what makes Scotty Thompson special para sa'yo?
Aside from being a really big guard in the league, he's what, 6'2", 6'3"? It's his athleticism. I mean, he doesn't mind scoring 20 points or being the player of the game. He focuses on doing the intangibles, getting those rebounds, making those defensive stops, and most of all, I think, going for the loose balls, getting extra possession for his team, and making scoring opportunities for his teammates.
Tapos ang dami pang experience internationally ngayon, di ba? That makes him. We always ask, we always ask the coaches, yung mga guests natin, Pao, what makes Scotty this, what makes Scotty that. Is such an all-around guy. Bakit ang hirap i-box out ni Scotty? Yan! Kasi napakagaling niya mag-rebound.
Magaling.
Bakit napakahirap i-box out niyan? But parang ay, malaki naman. Kaya mo namang hanapin. But what is it about that?
I think it's a gift. It's all about timing. And the willingness to really get that rebound. Kasi not all the players, let's be honest, not all players can do what Scotty is doing.
Definitely,
It's really hard. And I think it's the attitude, the consistency, going to practice, working hard on practice, so you translate it in the game.
Sobrang sneaky,
Yeah.
The way he
Sneaky
gets
Scotty.
Sneaky Scotty. That's exactly what I was thinking. Let's now move on to Mike Ayon. Here's a pick that I don't think a lot of people would have had sa listahan nila when they named their top guards. Why would you pick a Mike Ayon dito sa listahan mo?
I've known Mike for so long. I used to be teammates with him as well.
Yeah.
And during our rookie year, I played against him. And I know what he can bring into the table. He's a good scorer. He's a natural-born scorer. And he's a smart one, too.
Yeah.
He's a smart one, too. And now you could see all he needed was the coach's trust. And right now it's showing. He's been really scoring a lot in his past games.
A boom, 50% from 3.
Wow.
From si Ayon.
Wow, 50%.
They're in the games played so far. They've already had 3 games, so really that's not going down.
And then if he's often overlooked, he shouldn't be.
Yeah, not
if he's
now.
shooting at 50%. Someone who definitely never gets overlooked and somebody na has already been described, all the superlatives is in your list, Terrence Romeo. Where do you begin with that guy, Renzo?
Terrence, everyone knows Terrence.
Uh,
You want a bucket, you give it to Terrence. It's last second shot, right? Draw play for Terrence. he'll make things work.
Alam mo si Terence, do you still think that he is the best one-on-one player in the PBA? Because a lot of people felt that he was back in the day, him or either Stanley Pringle. Para sa'yo, is he that number one one-on-one player in the league today?
Right now, I could still say yes. He's still the number one for me. Imagine being out for most of the year last season, and coming back on his first game, scored 28 points.
Yeah, 28 points in an overtime loss. Pero grabe talaga. Terence Romeo just stole the show that day.
Yeah, 10 out of 22 shooting, averaging almost 19 points a game, and 50% shooting then from three.
Beyond the arc, yeah.
So,
that's a theme.
And we're hoping that he's healthy and could sustain that health all throughout the year because he is must-see TV.
Yeah.
At kailangan natin makita. One last guy on your list, Maverick Anmisi. Tell us why.
He's a big guard too.
Yeah.
And Maverick is a smooth operator. Like whatever the coaches wants him to do, what role, he's gonna do it like with his best effort.
Yeah, and you take a look at Maverick and Misi. Wala pa rin si L.A. Tenorio, so they do need the help there.
Ah, that's right.
Si Stanley Pringle is still getting back into things, and of course, now Scotty Thompson has a bit of help also manning that backcourt. So, let's see how he does here. Renzo, maraming salamat. Really appreciate you coming
thank you
over.
guys. Thank you guys.
And a lot more to talk about soon in other days. All right, so after the break, let's take a look at some of the hot topics in the ongoing NBA season. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. You're watching The Game. The NBA is always full of surprises, both good and, well, not so good.
What?
Let's wrap up some of the biggest NBA stories of the weekend, starting things off with the not so good. Ito, yeah, now James Harden finally getting a win with Los Angeles.
So good.
Not so good. Kasi 1 of 6 yung record nila with James Harden. Bust na ba?
But clutch 3. Yeah. By the way, that play wasn't for him. It was for Kawhi. Napunta lang sa kanya din. But I've said this many times. It's a matter of time. It's going to be a problem. I think he still thinks he's the same James Harden.
James Harden, yeah.
James Harden from Houston. So, and which means he needs to be commanding the ball more. But with Russell and PG and Kawhi there. I don't think that's going to happen.
Look, if Russell says that he can come from the bench and adapt,
Sakit sa
I think James Harden can adapt also in some way.
Well, he should, because this probably might be his last legitimate stop. Because I don't think anybody's going to trust him anymore after this. I mean, all the failed experiments and all the asking out experiences that he's had with other teams.
That's true. And speaking of failed experiments, people are now wondering, is the pool party over?
Well, he is playing, right? He's still playing.
So he's still
No, I
playing.
think,
that's the thing.
I think he's realizing now how tough it is when you're expected to be the man.
Yeah.
Or when there are expectations for you. Because with Golden State, there were certain expectations of him as the backup.
Yeah.
If you don't work, it's fine. We got Steph anyway.
Yeah,
But,
that's true.
Well, what do you think?
It is the first time this guy is going to take up that type of mantle as the franchise guy. So there's still time for it to turn around, and maybe this is a early season, buyer's regret, buyer's remorse. But then,
you know what? I also am concerned with whether his teammates think he's the man.
Exactly. That's another thing. Still time to turn around, but got to do it quickly here if you're Jordan Poole.
Okay.
And of
have,
course,
one more.
Yes, this one's interesting because people forget that we may have a Ben Simmons, Donovan Mitchell situation again, in the sense that Chet and Wemby are going to, even though they're separate draft class, could be the top two guys in the Rookie of the Year chase.
Because technically, this will be the first year that Chet
Yes.
will be playing. A lot of the attention has been obviously on Wemby for obvious reasons.
good reasons,
yes,
yeah.
and for good reasons. But historically, okay na si Chet. He's right now 8 games in. He's in the 90-90-55 club or something like that.
It's crazy, yeah.
He is not being overshadowed,
Yeah.
I think, from a game standpoint.
And let's see how it all looks towards the end of the year, especially when the wins start piling up.
And let's hope they both stay healthy.
Oh,
Let's
yes,
hope they both play
100%.
the rest of the year. You can catch these NBA games and, of course, our show too on demand on the Pilipinas Live app for just 149 pesos a month. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And I'm Paulo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.